Let me start with something that will unsettle you. The very thing you've been chasing in trading, the one thing every new trader believes will bring them success, is a lie. You've been told that prediction is power, that if you can just be accurate enough, if you can just find the holy grail system that predicts where price will go next, then you'll make it. But that pursuit is the greatest deception in the market. Think of it this way. If accuracy was truly the key to wealth, why are so many traders with 80% win rates still blowing accounts? Why do people who get most of their trades right still end up losing money over time? Daniel Kahneman, in Thinking, Fast and Slow, explained it perfectly. Humans are addicted to the illusion of prediction. We overestimate our ability to forecast outcomes, and that overconfidence blinds us. In trading, this is lethal. You can be right more than you're wrong and still end up broke if your structure is weak. Nassim Taleb, in Fooled by Randomness, took this even further. He argued that markets are environments of radical uncertainty, where randomness often looks like skill. In other words, your accurate prediction today may simply be noise in disguise. You think you saw the market clearly, when in reality, you were just lucky. And that illusion fuels your next trade and the next until the inevitable wipeout. So let's confront the painful truth. Prediction will not make you rich. Accuracy will not build your wealth. What makes you wealthy in trading is not whether you're right, it's how you are structured. Let me make this interactive. Imagine two traders. The first has a 90% win rate, but every time he wins, he makes $100. When he loses, just that 1 out of 10, he loses $2,000. How long do you think he'll last? Now imagine a second trader who wins only 40% of the time, but every win is worth $1,000, while every loss is capped at $300. Who survives? Who grows their account? The second trader, every single time. That's the difference between accuracy and structure. Mark Douglas, in Trading in the Zone, said it bluntly. You don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money. That statement shocks traders the first time they hear it, but it is the foundation of real wealth creation in markets. Money doesn't come from being right. It comes from aligning probability with discipline and process. Now, here's where most traders fail. They keep believing the myth of prediction. They obsess over signals, indicators, gurus, and perfect setups. They think if they can just refine the entry enough, they'll finally get consistent. But look back at all the greatest investors and traders we know. Warren Buffett doesn't predict markets. He structures bets. George Soros didn't make billions by being accurate. He made billions by knowing when his structure was favorable and when it wasn't. Even Jesse Livermore, who famously read the tape, admitted that the goal was never to be right all the time. It was to be positioned when the structure aligned with probability. And if you need one more voice, think of Howard Marks in The Most Important Thing. He writes that successful investors don't aim for prediction, they aim for superior risk control. That's the game. Not guessing, not forecasting, but controlling outcomes through intentional structure. So let me turn this back to you. How many times have you taken a trade you knew would win, only for it to collapse in your face? And how many times have you been right in direction, but still lost money because your stop placement or position size was wrong? That's proof that accuracy is irrelevant without structural alignment. Here's what it means to think like a rebel trader. You stop trying to predict the next candle, the next spike, the next move. You start designing your engagement with the market so that no single trade defines you. You structure your risk so that even a string of losses doesn't cripple you. You anchor yourself in recurrence, the repeatable process that delivers probability over time. Kahneman taught us that our brains are wired to seek certainty, to crave the comfort of being right. That's why traders get hooked on prediction. But Taleb taught us that certainty is an illusion. And Douglas taught us that freedom comes when you stop trying to know what will happen and instead design how you'll behave when anything happens. Now, let's apply this. If your journal is filled with entries about being right or wrong, you're already trapped. Stop measuring yourself by accuracy. Start measuring by process adherence. Did you follow your plan? Did you size correctly? Did you respect your stop? Did you allow your winners to run? That's the scorecard that matters. When you embrace this, something incredible happens. You stop fearing losses. You stop overvaluing being right. You realize that wealth comes from consistency, not correctness. You realize, as Taleb wrote in Antifragile, that the goal is to build a system that survives uncertainty, not one that pretends to eliminate it. The market doesn't pay you for your predictions. It pays you for your structure. It doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards intentionality. And it doesn't care about how often you're right. It only cares about what happens when you're wrong. So if you're tired of chasing prediction, tired of measuring your worth by accuracy, tired of losing even when you thought you were right, then this is your wake-up call. You're not here to predict the market. You're here to build a system that survives it. Rebels, let's make this simple. Stop worshiping accuracy. Stop chasing the high of being right. Stop believing the lie of prediction. Instead, build the architecture that forces consistency. Anchor your identity in structure, not outcomes. And remember, as long as you're designing intentionally, probability will always bend in your favor. That is how wealth is built. Not by predicting tomorrow, but by structuring today. And if this resonates, you know what to do. Subscribe to Trading Rebels. Share this with every trader stuck in the cycle of prediction. And comment below with the moment you realized accuracy had betrayed you. Together, we're building more than traders. We're building rebels. And in this movement, we don't predict, we design.